Monday AI agents took over my work. And I absolutely love it. Chasing deadlines, writing status reports, updating stakeholders. Agents handle the daily grind now. They live inside Monday.com, so they see the full picture. My work, my team, the whole company. And I don't have to worry about the data. It's safe, which means I'm free to focus on the big stuff, knowing everything runs smoothly in the background. It's completely shifted the way we work. Create your own AI agent in minutes on Monday.com.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I'm your host, JoAnn Crone. Today's episode, oh my gosh, we're digging into rewards. So if you use rewards in your home right now with your kids, maybe you reward for A's, maybe you reward for chores, this discussion is going to completely flip things around for you. It definitely changed my mindset about some things, and you may feel a little attacked about rewards. I felt a little like I didn't know the actual impact that rewards had. And that's what you're going to get here. So if you're listening on Spotify, by the way, if you want to hit that follow button and follow the No Guilt Mom podcast, or subscribe on Apple Podcasts too, that would be awesome. So you get every episode. But right now, you might be feeling that you can't motivate your kids without rewards. And after this episode, you're going to have ideas on how to strengthen your relationship with your kids, how to connect more with your kids. You're also going to find out like the evils of rewards, in a sense. I did. And to help us out with that, we have Dr. Özgür Bolat. He is an education scientist, researcher, associate professor, and internationally recognized expert in parenting and motivation. He earned his master's degree from Harvard Graduate School of Education and his PhD from the University of Cambridge, where he also spent time studying at MIT Sloan. His research focuses on what actually motivates children and why so many common parenting tools like rewards and excessive praise may be doing the opposite of what parents intend. He spent decades working with families, teachers, and schools, and his work has been recognized internationally, including receiving the Best Young Researcher Award in New Zealand. He's also been a major voice in parenting media for years, writing for a national newspaper for over a decade and leading workshops around the world. The Reward Trap is his latest book, and he's joining us from Istanbul, Turkey. And we were having a discussion before this interview started, and he told me he's very famous in Turkey. Like, they invited him on TV shows, interviewed in newspapers, and I always think it's so fascinating when guests come on from another country just to see like how our countries differ and what goes on there. So this episode gonna blow your mind with rewards. I promise you. Let's get on with the show. I'm so excited to have you here because rewards are a really controversial topic in the parenting world. I see some parents drive themselves absolutely crazy setting up reward systems, and I know that this is going to be a great conversation about it because this is what you do. This is what you study. To start us out, Dr. Özgür, what's the biggest misconception that parents have about rewards?
Okay. So when parents use rewards, they usually see that it works, but
Yes.
it works for a wrong reason. So like when you give a reward, you make the child do what he or she is supposed to do or what you want them to do. So, but when you stop rewarding them, they stop doing whatever they are doing as well. So this is like extrinsic motivation. The reason it works in the short run is this: for instance, if you want something, it's very easy. You get your reward, you do what you have to do. Okay. So you are doing it not because you want to do it, but because you have to do it to get what you want. And what we want is not the child to do what they have to do. We want them to want to do it, not they have to do it. Reward works in the short run, but in the long run, it kills the motivation most of the time. Like imagine this: when you do your homework, you can get a screen time, right?
Right.
So
which is a very common thing I see parents set up.
Yeah. So there are many issues with this. The first thing is homework is a means to screen time. So which one is more important? The goal is more important or means is more important? The child says, okay, homework is not valuable in itself. It is valuable for something else. immediately they lose interest because kids want to do it to get something else, that it loses value. This is the first thing. Second thing, when you do your homework, you can get a screen time. So there's a threat in it. Yeah. So if you don't do it, so you can't get a screen time. So
Right.
when you reward your children to do something, you're also threatening them. So threats create fear. We don't want them to have any
Yeah.
fear. So we want them to feel free to do whatever they want to do in their head, but you are creating fear. So we don't want them to feel fear. But this is the second thing.
That's so interesting because like I never thought of it that way. That rewards, like you think it's a positive thing, but there's an implicit threat because if you don't do it, you don't get it. That is so interesting. That
So
totally changes how I see it.
Yeah, you create fear. And when there's fear, we don't want our children to be scared. We want them to feel free. Yeah. So fear is the second problem. The third problem, so you never say to your husband or your wife, okay, if you go on a holiday with me, I will give you a watch. I will give you a bag. I will give you a present. We never say that, right? Why don't we say this? Why don't we say this? Because people know intuitively good things do not require reward, right? Good things are good. People want to do it. So when you put rewards in the equation, you are giving an implicit message. This is not good in itself. You need something else to do it. So this is called in their mind, we create what is called like inconsistency. They say like, they are giving me a reward. This must be not good. So
thinking of kids on vacation and the parents want to go do this tour and the kids are like, oh my gosh, this is so boring. And the parents say, oh, we will reward you with ice cream if you do it. You're basically saying that this tour is not valuable on its own and you definitely need something else to like be quiet and go along with it.
Yes. So you are basically telling them, you're right. This is not good, but you have to do it. The fourth problem is it turns relationship and love into transactions. Okay. My mom told me this, like the child is 11 years old. The mom calls home, hey, sweetie, I'm going to be late. So could you please warm up the dinner? And the child says, of course I will do it. What are you going to give me in return? It's like, and the mom says, I don't have to give you something in return. It's like, no, I'm not going to do it otherwise. Because this child does everything with reward. And even a simple thing she has to do, she requires rewards. It turns relationship into transactions, which we don't want.
So if parents have been using rewards for a while, then what kind of behaviors are they seeing in their kids that are directly tied to that giving rewards? Like the behaviors like the kid saying, I'm not going to do it unless I get something for it. Are there any others that parents could watch for?
We want children to do stuff just because they feel part of the family. Just they feel responsibility. And when parents keep giving rewards, the child says, I have to get something in return. Otherwise, I won't do it. The worst problem is this. Okay, the child says, can you buy me Apple iPad? And the father says, yes, I will buy you Apple iPad, but only on one condition. If you get an A on all your courses, then I will buy you an iPad. And the child is very happy. Okay. But think about this. What if the child doesn't have the capacity to get an A? What happens? And the child thinks, okay, the child says, my father doesn't buy iPad for me. He buys iPad for me only when I meet this need. So the child doesn't feel loved. Let me tell you a real story. And the child wants to go to Walt Disney in Orlando, yeah? And she goes to the father. She's like, can you take me to Orlando this summer? And the father says, if you get an A on all your classes, I will take you there. The child is happy. And she goes to the school and she tells this to their friends. Okay, if I get an A, my father will take me to Walt Disney. And one of the kids says, oh, we will go this summer as well. And the child says, but you're a terrible student. You won't get an A and you can't go. And the child says, it has nothing to do with my grades. My father will take me this summer no matter what. And the child feels, oh, she will go no matter what, but I can't go unless I get A's. And she feels like, oh, my father must not love me as much as her father loves her. It's a conditional love.
It's
And
conditional, right?
It's conditional. If the child wants to go to Walt Disney, and if I want to take her to Walt Disney, then I should do it just because I love my children. And it's a conditional love and it's transaction. And another problem with rewarding is this. Let me tell another story. There was a little kid, okay? So 7 years old. And whenever we meet, we talk, we hug and we tell stories each other. And then one day I met this little girl and her mom, her parents as well. I said, hey, let's talk a little bit. And this kid says, no. I said, are you upset? She says, yes. I said, why are you upset? My mom doesn't buy me a pizza. And I said, okay, you can talk to your mom and solve your problem. Then I left it there and I continued with my life. 30 seconds later, she came to me and she hugged me and she says, okay, I am ready to talk to you now. And I wondered what happened in 30 seconds. My friend told me, she told this little kid, if you go and hug Özgür, I will give you a toy. So what happened? This kid had to do something against her will just to get a toy. So it's like crushing the will of the child, which we don't want. So rewarding.
I could totally see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the child doesn't want to eat. We say, if you eat, we will give you ice cream. We're saying, I am controlling you. I will make you eat it. And their will is crushed most of the time, which we don't want as parents.
Yeah. No, not at all. Like, gosh, rewards sound downright evil, right? And I know that a lot of parents do them out of very good intentions, thinking that they are raising kids to get the job done. But I also think that rewards are set up because parents are under this false assumption that the only reason the kid's not doing it is out of laziness in terms of the homework issue, or in terms of not knowing how to be kind when you talk about the hug issue. But it's so misguided.
Yes, definitely. Rewarding is a way to control children to do what we want them to do. It's controlling. What we want is not a control. What we want is connection.
Connection, absolutely. You know what I wish existed when my kids were little? Great Wolf Lodge. An indoor water park inside your hotel where it's always 84 degrees, especially living in Phoenix where the sidewalks burn your toes. That would have been amazing. At Great Wolf Lodge, the whole family gets to splash around in a massive indoor water park with a wave pool, a lazy river, and water slides that you can all ride together. But here's what's really cool about it. They also have Magi Quest, which is a live action adventure game kids play throughout the entire lodge. It's like the magic never stops and your kids are always occupied. Between the Northern Lights Arcade, the great dining options, and the complimentary dance parties nightly, there's genuinely something for everyone all under one roof. No packing up and driving somewhere every hour. No, I'm bored. Just connection, fun, and honestly, a little magic for you too. With 22 lodges across the country, there's probably one close to you. Check it out at greatwolf.com and bring your pack together. Growing up, I was terrified to spend money. It wasn't about not having it. It was the guilt. Every time I wanted something, I felt like I shouldn't even ask for it. So I just didn't. That guilt followed me straight into adulthood. That's basically been my money story. Guilt first, math never. Until Monarch. Now I see where our money actually goes instead of guessing. And a chunk was quietly vanishing into the meal delivery apps we used. The weekly AI recap catches that now before it's a problem. And my favorite part, asking Monarch AI's assistant instead of digging through reports and using it to map out big goals, since we're about to have a kid headed to college. Write your own money story with Monarch. Use code NOGUILT at monarch.com to get your first year of Monarch Core half off at just $50. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com with code NOGUILT. I want to talk about the moment I became a laundry sauce person. I was walking through my house and I just stopped because the whole laundry area smelled incredible. Not like laundry detergent incredible, like you just walked into a really nice hotel incredible. And that was it. So here's the thing about laundry sauce. These are premium scented laundry pods made with fine fragrances from the world's top perfumers. We're talking scents like Australian sandalwood, Italian bergamot, and a new limited edition Brazilian vanilla. And the scent lasts until your next laundry day. When I pull clothes out of the dryer, my first thought is genuinely, oh my gosh, this smells amazing. And the pods, they're pre-measured, pop them in, done. No lid, no guessing, no mess. Plus, they're packed with bioenzymes that actually obliterate stains from all the very summery things your family gets into. For a limited time only, our listeners get 20% off your entire order when you use code NOGUILT at laundrysauce.com. That's 20% off your entire order at laundrysauce.com with promo code NOGUILT. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. It's time to make laundry day the best day of the week. And you say that rewards and praise can shape children into being approval-seeking adults. What does that look like over time?
Okay, I did my own research. So, like, let's say a 4-year-old kid does a drawing, yeah? The child does a drawing and takes this to mom or dad, shows it, and the dad says, wow, this is great, well done. Okay? And then it happens again, it happens again, it happens again. After a while, the child says, when I do something, I will be happy when someone likes it. So it is approval seeking. What we want is for the child to ask themselves, do I like it? Or can I share this with my mom or with my dad? So what we have to do is not to praise it all the time, but ask a very simple question. I call this interest question. Is like when the child does it, we say, oh, tell me about it. And the child shares. So this is what is important. We want children to share their inner experience and their inner thoughts rather than praising all the time. When you keep praising, they start to seek approval for everyone. There is a very good quote by Fritz, the founder of Gestalt therapy. Like when you praise your children all the time, children make others their judge. We don't want that. We want to develop inner compass. So praising all the time creates approval-seeking children. Reward is the same thing. Another story, there was a school and there was a system in the school. When children do good deeds and when teachers see them doing good deeds, they give them a reward card. They collect all these cards, and then when they get enough cards, they get a present. Okay, you know what happens? 2 things happen. 1, children do good things only when their teachers see them. It's the first thing. Okay, so if there's no teacher around, if there is no one to give rewards, they don't do good things. They wait. This is the first thing. Second thing, another story. In this school, there was a system when children do good deeds, teachers give them reward cards. Okay. So children came together and they created a system. They said, okay, JoAnn, you're going to forget your coat in the gym. I will take it. I will give it to you in front of the teacher. I will get a good reward card. The next day, I will forget it and you will bring it to me and you will get a good
manipulating the system.
Yeah, manipulating the system. We want children to be good, not to get rewards, but just to be a good person. So,
and this brings me back, Oscar, to being a teacher. This is actually a question I have for you. When I was a teacher, I had 32 students in my class, and it was me and 32 students. And there are things you have to get done in the classroom. You need to, make sure that all students are learning and they have the environment to learn. And at that time, I used rewards. I used this system called Class Dojo, where I had it on my phone. And basically, when I saw people who were ready on time, I was like, point for you, point for you, point for you, and just going through the class like that. And what I saw, it helped. However, I did need to keep on it all the time. As you said, you have to keep the reward going.
Yes.
But is there a time where rewards are beneficial? Because I can't imagine what I would have done in that environment without rewards.
Okay. So there are two questions in your question.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
The first one is, let's say they're late. I want them to be on time. I bring them together and I start a discussion. And I say, hey, Mark, what do you think about being late? Do you think people can be late or they should be on time? Like, what are the good sides? What are the bad sides of being late? I start a discussion. When I start a discussion, I want them to see being on time helps everyone learn. For instance, you start the lesson early. So when you start a discussion, you're creating a value of respecting others' time, respecting the fact that we start the class on time. So you instill a value by talking to them, by being a role model, and by having a discussion. Let's say I had this discussion and they are still late. Okay. So then I should understand why they are late. Okay. Let's say, hey, John, like we discussed this and you are late. Let me understand what makes you late. Okay. Then, for instance, maybe you realize the class is something, let's say it's a math class. The child is not good at math and he's avoiding the class to look bad or to have a shame. So there's another problem I have to deal with. The child is terrible at math, and when he's in the class, then he will be embarrassed. He won't be able to do it. And I have to deal with this issue. If the child doesn't do homework, I should ask why this child is avoiding the homework. Maybe the homework is too hard, maybe too easy, maybe too repetitive. I have to solve this problem rather than making the child do something. I have to understand why that child is not doing it. Okay.
That is true. Yeah. I use that in my coaching for parenting and with our members here in the No Guilt community and in our inner circle. It's all about that asking questions and connection. Because now that you bring it up, in my classroom days, the same students were ready each time. And the students who were not able to be ready, they didn't change with the points, because you're right. There was something behind it that I didn't take the time to kind of sit down with the child and ask.
Yes. So let's talk about the cases where the words work. Let's say, did you do horse riding at all? No. Okay.
But
let's say
I know what it is, and I could think of it. Yes.
Yes. Let's say I want you to do horse riding, and you say, no, I'm scared. Okay. And I say, come on, let's try. You say, no, I don't want to try. Okay. So you have never experienced horse riding. Yeah. So I talk to you and you still say no. We have a discussion, you still say no. But I know if you try it, you will love it. And how can I make you do it? Okay. Discussion didn't work. Just telling you to do it didn't work. Then I say, hey, Joanna, if you do it, I will give you an ice cream. And the child says, okay, I can do it for the ice cream. But okay, this is the first step to bring you to the horses. Okay. I did it with rewarding. Okay. With rewards. Now I have to organize this experience so well that you started with a reward, but you have to keep doing it for the intrinsic motivation. So I bring you to the horses and I organize this experience so well, then you love the horse, you talk to the horse, you ride the horse with my help, and you say, I love it. Okay, so if the child didn't experience something at all, you can offer rewards for the child so that he can start experiencing it. You can start with the extrinsic reward and turn it into intrinsic rewards. I think this is one case you can use rewards.
So it's a one-time reward. It's not a
Yeah.
situation where it needs multiple things. It's just a, hey, try this thing and just see if you
Yes.
like it. And I'll make it a little
Yes.
sweeter on my end for you.
Yes. This is an example from my book. There was a teacher, horse riding teacher. Some of the kids were scared of horses, but they never tried. The instructor is very experienced. He says, every kid loves horses if you can organize the experience in a very good way. So they bring the child with a reward, but then the instructor replaces the reward with very good experiences. I think this is one case you can use rewards.
Okay, so like it's replaced. Like the reward is external motivation at first, extrinsic, and then it becomes intrinsic because they love the activity. I remember the first time we started allowance with my daughter, I told her, yes, of course you can buy that. How much do you have in your allowance? And that question changed everything because suddenly she was doing the math, not me. We went to a musical and she walked up to the merch stand, looked at a t-shirt and went, $40? That's so much money. That sentence never came out of her mouth before she had her own money to think about. That's exactly what Cash App's managed accounts for kids 6 to 12 are built for. Whether it's $5 from allowance or $40 birthday money from grandma, it all counts and it all stays with them as they grow up. No subscription fees, no minimum balance, just real practice making real decisions while you're still the one guiding it from your own app. If you're ready to start teaching money habits without adding more stress to your plate, download Cash App and set up a managed account for your child today. For a limited time, new Cash App customers who are parents can use our exclusive referral code FAMILY10 to earn $10. Download Cash App, enter the referral code in your profile, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you will receive $10. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Cash App Visa debit flex cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC, and the Bancorp Bank NA, pursuant to a license from Visa USA Inc. See terms and conditions for the Sutton prepaid card, Sutton debit flex card, and Bancorp debit flex card. Savings and offers provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Parents and legal guardians can open a managed account for kids 6 to 12. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures.
Here's your report.
Oh, thanks, Jane. I wish I could hire someone just like you.
Try LinkedIn Hiring Pro. It's more than a job board. It's like the recruiter you always wished you had. Hiring Pro uses real-time insights to match your role to LinkedIn's unique network of professionals and delivers a short list of best fit candidates. You'll spend less time sorting applicants and more time talking to the right people.
Let's do it. You're irreplaceable, Jane, but another you would be great.
Hire right the first time. Post your job for free on LinkedIn today at linkedin.com/quality.
This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
I've also heard like parents with young children and potty training, like rewards could work in potty training as well. Like, how does the psychology work there?
This is deeper. Okay. There's a research.
I'm interested in this one.
There's a research at Stanford. Okay. And they offered the rewards to workers at a glass manufacturing factory. Okay. Like they said, like 1,000 pieces, we will give you a reward. And then when they gave rewards to workers, production increased. Okay. Production increased. Yeah. It makes sense because it's a mechanical work. Okay. Let's say I am doing 70 pieces an hour. If you give me like $1,000 extra, I will do it 100 pieces. No problem. Okay. So reward works with mechanical works. You can just increase your effort and you can do more work. Okay, imagine this.
Okay.
Another scenario. You're drawing. Okay, let's say you are drawing 5 drawings an hour. Okay, so if I give you a reward, okay, if you're not creative, no matter what, even if I give you $1 million, you won't be more creative, right? So they did research at Harvard, and they gave rewards for creating slogans and drawings. They drew more pictures. They created more slogans, but slogans and drawings were not more creative, because you cannot make someone more creative by giving like $1 million. So rewarding works with mechanical work, because all you have to do is to increase your effort. But when it is like cognitive work, creativity, you cannot be more creative. You cannot be more, like, you cannot be smarter. Even if I give you $1 million, can you draw like $1 million drawing if I give you $10 million? If you're not creative, you cannot do it. So with potted training, it works. It's like a mechanical work, but yeah, it works with mechanical work, not with creative and cognitive work. But even then, there's an issue. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me the issue.
Let's say you are doing 70 pieces an hour as a worker. 70 pieces, let's say. I give you reward and you do 100 pieces. Then as your manager or as your boss, I say, oh, JoAnn has the capacity to do 100, but she always did 70. When I gave her a reward, she increased her effort and did more, then I will feel betrayed by you, because you had the capacity to do 100, but you didn't do it. So it creates antitrust. Do you know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah. Because it destroys the relationship.
Yes. When I say, hey, Joanna, you had the capacity to do 100. Why didn't you do it before? Why did you do it only when I gave you the words? Then I will lose trust in you.
With that glass manufacturing example, wouldn't the reward need to keep happening for the workers to be at that 100 output?
Yes. You have to keep it all the time. And there's another research that I cited in my book. And let's say I created a group of workers. They are doing manufacturing. You know what happened? Let's say you are not a good worker. I'm a good worker. I will say, hey, I don't want to be in the same team as JoAnn, because she will destroy my performance. So relationship is destroyed as well. I would want to work only with the best ones. And in code, the bad ones will not be accepted to any group. So in the classroom, the same thing. Like hardworking students do not want to work with other students if reward is based on group performance.
Yeah, even like grades. I saw that problem a lot in the 5th grade classroom with group projects. Like there would be one or two students who did most of the work, and they didn't want to work with the ones who didn't, because it pulled down the entire group.
Yes, and we don't want that. What we want is every student to help each other and to be good friends. But when we do that, they don't want less academically bad students. Yeah, no. All they want is good grade, not relationship. So, yeah.
So for parents who are listening right now and they're like, okay, I could see how rewards are not helping, and they want to stop relying on them, what's one small shift that they can do immediately at home?
If the child doesn't want to do something, doesn't want to do homework, okay, then we immediately ask ourselves this: how can I make this child to do homework? This is the wrong question. Then I will ask my child, why doesn't my child want to do homework? The child is not creating a problem. The child is having a problem with homework. Let me help my child. And then I said to my child, you don't want to do your homework? Yes. Let me understand why you don't want to do it. Let's try to solve this problem together. And then we explore the reason why the child doesn't want to do it. And then I help my child. If the child says it's too boring, I say, okay, it makes sense. Homework is boring. And then I say, is there any way to make it more interesting? The child says, maybe, but I don't know how. And as a parent, I say, I don't know how either. So what are you going to do? You are both stuck. Then the learning process starts. So you go to net or you talk to people. How can you make a homework interesting? Then you learn. As a parent, the child learns as a child. You explore the issue and you find a solution to solve the problem. And if, in fact, the teachers have to make it interesting. But if they can't do it, you have to find a way to make it interesting.
Right.
Give me another issue, for instance.
Well, I could actually share a story that I used in my home, which goes along this concept that you just talked about.
Yeah.
My son with the dishes, his job was to unload the dishwasher. And each time he came to the dishwasher, he would just cry. He would push back against it. He refused to do it on time. And so I asked him, I'm like, okay, we went to the dishwasher together and I'm like, talk me through this. What are you thinking right now? And he's like, there's just too many dishes. I don't know where to start. And so one of the issues I found is he was overwhelmed and didn't have a good starting place. So that was one thing we started to work through. Another thing was he's like, I'm just so bored doing dishes. Like it's so boring. And so we started thinking, okay, what are some things, like you said with homework, what are some things that'll make it more exciting and better? And he finally landed on just listening to music on his AirPods when he unloaded the dishwasher. And so that solved that problem. And now like it's just an issue of like getting up and doing it. But those two problems were standing in the way. And whatever I did like wouldn't have worked if I hadn't helped him solve those.
Yeah. How old is your child?
He's 12.
Okay. Were you unloading the dishes when he was 3 years old?
He was helping with stuff like that.
Yeah. So here, what we want is through the age 3 and 6, children are in the stage, what Erickson calls initiative stage. Okay. Between 3 and 6, children want to do everything. They want to be useful. They want to help parents and they want to build competence. So even if you don't want them to help, they want to help. During this period, as parents, we have to create a routine and do the routine in a relationship. So relationship is the glue that sticks the, work together. We have to create a habit. So here we say, okay, we eat, wash the dishes, and we unload the dishes together. It's a routine and we will do it together. So if you do it, let's tidy up our bed together. So when you do stuff in a routine and together, they develop a habit. And then they don't have to think about it and they do it with their parents. And then another issue is overwhelming. Then you solve this problem by taking some of the dishes and they do only their bit. So at an early age, if we create habits together in a relationship, and then they don't have to think about it. They just do it out of habits. So creating habit is important.
That's interesting because like one of the things that my son does out of habit is at the grocery store, he will help pack things and then he will bring everything like to the car. He'll load it in the cart. And that was something that he was doing from a very young age. He just came to the grocery store with us and like put them in the cart.
Yeah.
So parents of 3 to 6-year-olds, take advantage of this right now and make your life easier in the future. Absolutely. What about those kids who they didn't have a chance yet, like the 9 and 12-year-olds?
So if they didn't have a chance, it means you have to start creating habits now. You have to, let me tell you a study, then I will come back to this. Yeah. Okay. There's a very good study. They grouped people into 2. Okay. The first group says, if you go to gym, we will give you money for 6 months. Okay. So they gave them money. Second group says, okay, you are in a study. You will go to the gym. We will pay you. But you will go to the gym with your friends. Okay. With your friends. And then after 6 months, they got paid. And after 6 months, they stopped paying, both groups. Okay. So they waited to see which group is still going to the gym. Okay. The first group stopped, but most of the people in the second group did not stop going. Why? Because they went there for the money, but they went there with their friends. When they were with their friends, they socialized. So money started exercising, but socializing kept them going. So socializing was the intrinsic motivation. So when you do something with your kid, if they do it because they have to do it, there is no intrinsic motivation. But if they do it with you, socializing is the intrinsic motivation. Now have a conversation with your children, do it together so that the child says, wow, I'm sharing this boring experience with my mom, with my dad. If they enjoy it, then that enjoyment will be the intrinsic motivation. Yeah, if they didn't do it, then stop making them do it. It's a controlling way, and just do it together and enjoy it together, and then they will start to create a habit. Yeah,
That's a great tip. I mean, I still have a little pushback against the dishwasher, so I'm going to try that with my son. Just do it with him and see how it goes from there.
Yeah, but really, really enjoy it with your children, and maybe a great conversation during it. And you can say, "Hey, okay, you will do the upper parts, I will do the below part," and yeah. So you have to add an intrinsic motivation into this boring job.
Interesting. Okay, I have something to think about, Oscar. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for sharing all of this stuff about rewards. Like, I felt very knowledgeable about the process going in, and you've blown my mind. You've given me so much more to think about.
Thank you.
Yeah, for everything from rewards actually being an implied threat, other just things. Thank you so much.
Yeah, think about this. I will do things when I get something in return. Then I am. This is called external validation, external motivation. Yeah. So it ties into guilt as well.
Right.
When you think about it, when you feel guilty because you are not doing something against an external criteria, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, external expectation, external criteria, external standards. So like it means in your mind, you have external standards all the time, then you will feel guilty if you cannot meet that expectation. So what we want is change that external standard with values and internal standards. Then as a value, as a mom, like you say, my value is being present with my children. So then you don't have to think about it. Am I doing it right? Am I managing it? Am I meeting this criteria? All you have to do is be human and be present. Then you say it's a direction rather than a whole standard, So we want to add values and direction rather than zero or all standards. So external validation is created by praising and rewarding as well.
That's so good. That's so good to know, and something that people can implement right away.
And think about this. Think about this. Let's say your math grade is 40. 40, okay? 40 out of 100. You're working very hard and you get 80. Then you're happy because you're like mastering, you're developing, you're progressing, and you should be happy. But if your father or mother says, if you get 100, I will give you a reward, and you will say, even if you progressed, even if you grew, if you cannot get a 100 reward, you will feel like you're failing. We don't want this.
Yeah,
we want internal growth, progress. So rewarding external criteria, external standards, it stops the progress.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for everything that you shared today, and tell people about your book.
So my book is called The Reward Trap. It is science-based, and I have a parenting school. Like I have been doing parenting workshop for like 12 years, 15 years. It's also action-based, and I've been working with parents. Like I brought science and everyday practice together, and I wrote this book, Why Reward Backfires, and how to motivate kids, really. How to motivate kids. It's a science-based and practical book, and it will come out August 18th in the whole world. And this is Aziz Sancar, Nobel Prize winner, and he read my book and he wrote a foreword for me, which is a big honor.
Yeah, definitely.
And he said, you brought uncommon clarity to the issue of rewarding. So I was very honored that he wrote a foreword for me. And there's Richard Ryan, who did like most of the studies on rewarding, and he did a blurb for me as well, which is like, think about this. You're writing a book on DNA, let's say, and the guy who found DNA endorsed your book. I am very honored as well. So yeah, it will come out. I hope it will help parents to shift from control to connection. to understanding.
That is,
I'm very
that is
excited.
what we're all about here at No Guilt Mom, the connection versus control. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And for all the parents out there, remember, the best mom is a happy mom. Take care of you. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
If you'd like to support the show further, you can share episodes with your loved ones, leave a positive review, or follow us on social media at No Guilt Mom. You could also show your love by visiting our amazing podcast sponsors. We have a link in the show notes.
Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why customers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.